production budget. How much?
Righty, and we are here. So, welcome viewers to the beginning of our second limited series, Thick as Thieves 2, here at Tales of Witternacht, our D&D 5th edition actual play stream. I am AJ, and I will be your storyteller this evening. With me are tonight's players. We have Jeff, Ollie, Silver, Conrad, and Dustin. Before we begin, we'd like to thank a few groups: Smiteworks for Fantasy Grounds, which is our virtual tabletop of choice; Sirenscape, which has our amazing music, ambiance, and sound; and Discord for our voice and video services. We also want to go ahead and thank Wizards of the Coast for D&D 5th Edition, which is the game we play. Tales of Witternacht is not directly affiliated with any of these companies other than the use of their products. But with that, let's go ahead and get on to tonight's tale. So, this is our continuation of the first Thick as Thieves series that we completed. We do have 2 returning characters here in our midst, but this time around for our limited series, they will be accompanied by 3 new individuals. We begin our tale in the free city of Six Bells, a glistening beacon of freedom split into 6 distinct districts, each dotingly devoted to the pantheon of the Six. Our tale brings us beneath the city, though, into the murky sewers that run beneath it. We see 5 figures shrouded in shadow, as one of them starts to strike up a torch with an odd purplish glow to it. As the light kind of fills the space, Arbor, would you like to go ahead and describe your character?
Sure. Yeah, Arbor is a bigger guy. He's wearing a have nice breastplate, of a wrapped scarf and cloak in reds and navies, with a number of weapons on him: a warhammer, daggers, throwing knives, a bow. Oh, and did I mention he's also a dog? Yeah, he's a dog person, kind of with German Shepherd kind of coloring to him, kind of like that lighter tan underneath jaw, different parts of his tail and hands, and have a darker brown on top. Has a kind of a scowl in his eye and a hard look, the shadows playing around him with this purple flame.
Definitely. As the torch seems to increase, we find ourselves not in a position where this group is sneaking into somewhere, but actually it looks like they're making their escape. They move with quite a quickened pace, and we pan over in the purplish glow, kind of the sound of the sewers beneath, an individual who doffs a guard uniform. Escher, would you like to go ahead and describe your character for the group?
Well, this is going to be a little bit interesting. But you see an individual who looks nothing like the image next to my screen. Later middle-aged, elven man, few battle scars, looking pretty rough in his guard uniform, as he would be under disguise at this point in time. So we'll cover who Escher looks like when he's, looking like himself. If he ever looks like himself, we'll see.
As this guard kind of makes their escape along with these other individuals, we hear other noises, sounds of people chasing after, loud sounds of halt and stop, as the water seems to kind of fly up towards your heels, kind of lapping at your ankles, and it is not the best scent as it kind of assails your nostrils. We do have an individual, though, who makes a stand, quickly turning over their shoulder to face all of these guards in pursuit with an odd vessel in their hands. O'Neill, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, of course. Onair turns and stands stout, the rings of his chainmail shackle as he does. You'll see a scar on his left side that sits beneath his horns. Also on the left side, having a mermaid carved into the sort of curvature of the horn, so that it's very decorative, but not any less sharp. Um, he unclogs the vessel, and out comes a stream of water, uh, blowing past the guards.
very quickly knocking them off of their feet. Many of them seem to comedically stumble through the force of the water and are deposited into the large stream beside them that has a very nasty greenish glow. Although it might necessarily be hard to make out with the purple kind of overtaking this area. Arbor, you find that ahead of you there seems to be some sort of fallen debris, and as the torchbearer, what would you like to do in order to avoid?
Um, is this debris like fully blocking the tunnel, or is it just sort of mounded?
Yeah, so the way that the tunnel is kind of oriented out in these sewers is you have the main stream in the center and kind of the stone causeways off to the sides. So you are progressing across one of them, and it seems like there is an almost ramshackle dam of sorts created by a bunch of broken and mildewed wood. It seems to take up quite a good amount of the tunnel before you on both sides.
Okay. Um. Uh. Arbor would probably shift the torch to his other hand, pulling the uh, glinting silvery blue hammer off his belt, and hefting it in a crushing blow to try to blow a hole through this ramshackle wood and crumbling stone.
Perfect. In that case, can you go ahead and roll me an athletics check, please? First roll of the
Ooh.
game.
Gladly.
Alrighty. With that, we're rolling with a 21. You are easily able to push past all of this, and you find yourself kind of in this new area. It seems like a lot more of this part of the sewer seems to be taken over by cobwebs that seem to kind of lace the top kind of edges, and they even start to peek out on your sides as you're hit with this nasty kind of sticky sinew that easily burns off with the torch in your hands. But as you are torch bearing, you are easily able to keep the group led through. And we go ahead and pan over to another individual as you quickly hit a door that seems to be locked. And there is only one person for the job. Krelin, as you stride forward confidently, would you like to describe the character for me?
Yeah, so Krelin, he's a 5'10" vampire, dressed in some fairly casual, nothing crazy, little loose fitting clothing, kind of grays and blacks, little bits of purple here and there. He's got a staff on his back. Besides that, you don't really see too much equipment-wise. He does have a small backpack. Seems to have a few things. His hair's a little bit messy right now. Normally he has it braided, but he's got it just in like a loose bun, and he's got two, probably lockpicks in his hair, holding it all together. But he pulls out another nicer set of thieves' tools as he approaches the door.
All right. With your thieves' tools in hand, can you go ahead and make me a check? Sleight of hand, to be precise.
Okay. Ooh, that was not a good start, but that has a +2 on top of that because they're masterwork thieves' tools.
Ah, okay. So we're rolling with a 13. As you kind of take this moment, a little bit of the momentum of your escape kind of starts to simmer down slightly. Krelin, as the purple flames kind of dance over this lock, you realize that your thieves' tools, while extremely beautiful and masterworked, might not be able to crack this lock, as it seems like there is a large hole to go ahead and bust through some of the initial kind of pins, and then a further and deeper kind of smaller inset where there seem to be a multitude of other pins.
Hey, Saga's redeemed a reroll.
Oh!
Hey!
Awesome.
She's starting
Well,
out strong.
See,
Yeah.
She's gonna get a god name before we're done.
Whoa!
Woo!
Good
Don't
call,
justify
Saga.
her.
Good call, Saga.
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you, Saga.
Yeah.
lifesaver right there.
You think about it for a second and you go for it, sticking your hand even deeper into it and actually using kind of your knuckles to push up some of these pins. You hear a click as the padlock falls off of this wrought iron gate.
Piece of cake. Shall I continue?
Would you rather just wait for the guards to catch up? Let's go.
And with that, you see before you there is a large ladder that seems to stretch up through this small tunnel that leads upwards. There's a slight bit of clean light peeking through, but other than that, it is dimly lit, and there's only the purple glimmer of the flames upon the wall that seems to give you any sort of brightness in this space. What would you like to do?
How wide is this tunnel going up for the ladder?
Seems to be at least a width for one of you, looking at about 5 feet in diameter.
Any of us have any recollection of knowing anything about where this leads?
Yes, indeed. We turn over to another individual in this group, one who has yet to be introduced, as they wear their shades in the dark. You have a solid understanding of what awaits you up there, and you also feel like your specific set of skills would be helpful towards persuading anybody down from what they could see as an intrusion of privacy. Zay, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, of course. Zay's about like 5'9", 5'10", because he's got a 1-inch heel on his boots. He's wearing these sort of dark, they're like sort of a blue sort of tinted glass, maybe a shade darker than necessary for the sewers, slightly out of season. He wears like a cap with like messy black hair that curls down to his collar. There's like a small scar at the corner of his lip, which makes it look like he's got like a bit of a smirk a lot of the time. His skin's tanned. There's a hint of stubble on like his upper lip and chin. Like he's wearing clothes which are 100% not made for a sewer. We're talking like a white shirt with like a high collar, a waistcoat, a long blue sort of overcoat that comes down to his knees. He's got the sleeves of the jacket rolled up, revealing a bunch of like isometric arcane sort of tattoos which run all the way from his elbow down to his hands. But he's also, because he's in the sewers, he's actually rolled up the trousers he's wearing, so they're like mid-calf, so he's wearing like mid-1990s capri pants at the moment. And the extra inch worth of heel to protect him from the delightful water from which we've been striding through.
Then with that, eager to get out of the water, can I go ahead and have a marching order for who would like to proceed up the ladder first?
I think Onair would want to get out as fast as possible. He'll be up first.
Ash will take
Perfect.
the rear.
Okay.
I'll go
Any
behind
like-
O'Neill.
I'll sit in the middle.
Yeah, I'll go. Then I'll be second to last.
Perfect. So as you go ahead and yes.
So, passing the torch to O'Neill as he takes the lead.
Okay.
Thank
Huh.
you.
You each move up this ladder. It's made of an old rickety wood, and there are slight moments where these steps bend, but none of them break underneath each of your individual weights, even as you consecutively follow each other up. Popping up the top of this rectangular kind of door above you, and as you throw it over, you find yourselves in a stone room. Immediately, your eye is caught with the light from all of the torches on the wall, sconces that seem to line the entirety of this space. And I will go ahead and show us our map.
Ooh.
As I go to do this, if I do, it says it's already shared. So do this and then that. Everybody see it? No? Okay. Let's see. Do it. And open this for everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna do the line of sight for everybody in the. So, make sure you might want to just like delete the tokens off and then redrag them from the combat tracker.
Cool. Let's go ahead and delete. And let me go ahead and redrag some of these over here. So, all right. We had O'Neill leading the charge.
Nobody wants to be in front of the
We
bowl.
had Krelin
You get the horns.
behind. Had Faye
I don't have to have a high
Arbor.
AC if everyone's already dead.
and Escher. Can everybody see now?
I can just see the tokens.
I don't have a map.
I also don't have a map.
Does O'Neill see anyone as he comes up? Is it an empty room, or do we just see
Yes.
skunks?
It is an empty room. You immediately see large cages that don't actually have anybody inside of them, per se. But let's go ahead and do that. Now everybody should have it. Yeah?
Oh yeah. Fantasy rounds to figure itself out.
That.
Yep.
Something does seem to be loading.
Cool. You find yourselves in this room lit with these orange lights, kind of slowly pulling away from this purple torch as it seems to dwindle. But large iron cages sit across from you. Large steel bands kind of sat upon these iron frames. You do see a modicum of dirt and grime at the base of them, and you also see manacles sat on this banding that seem to just kind of hang.
Okay, I still don't have a map coming through on mine, which is the one going to the stream.
I feel
Everybody
like
else
I
is
may
seeing
have
theirs?
Accidentally,
No.
I didn't see a map. I had a brown sort of square with our tokens on, and then
Yeah.
I've somehow
Yeah, me
managed
too.
to and then yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Thank you for bearing with our technical difficulties, folks.
Hey, if this is the only technical
Serious?
difficulty we have tonight, we're doing awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can always Metal Gear Solid 3 have a conversation as we go up the world's longest ladder.
It's very true. It's a pretty long ladder, y'all.
As long as Snake Eater's playing in the background, it's all good.
Okay, on the map itself, if you go into the edit, is it locked or unlocked, number one?
It's locked.
Okay. Unlock it, click on the dice,
Okay.
see which options are selected. Is there some that are
Yes.
grayed out?
Yes.
Which ones are grayed out?
Enable disabled player vision. That's probably
That's probably a
important.
good thing. Let's get that one turned on.
Okay. And then enable disable
Oh,
line of
well,
sight.
we're going
and enable
somewhere.
disable lighting.
Yes, we want all those on.
There we go. Now can we see?
Okay.
We got to
Move to
black,
purple.
so we're making progress.
Okay. Okay. Let me go ahead and
We're in the darkness now.
do this.
The darkness,
Okay.
you say.
And I believe we should be good as to party vision.
Can you all move
I
your
guess.
tokens?
Maybe that'll do something.
I can
Well,
request
sir,
move.
that was a wonderful and adept lockpicking you did back there.
Thank you. I've been doing this for quite a while. It's one of my specialties.
Right, so, what else are you capable of? Seems
Well,
like we'll be together for a moment.
Quite good at getting in and out of places without being seen. I'm able to jump through shadows, sort of.
Yeah,
Makes it
I'm
easy to
saying
get around.
Getting into places he shouldn't be is kind of an understatement.
Sounds like a story that I'd like to hear.
Perhaps we'll create our own stories.
Oh, we have to get out of here first. I don't think there's much that we can do from down here.
Honestly, anything that's not the sewer, and I am so very on board.
He'll give a laugh. Yeah, I don't think that you are dressed for the occasion.
Ah, you are wrong. The occasion is not right for me. I am dressed perfectly.
Hey! Success!
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, so maybe whenever I was editing this map, I changed it to GM only. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I think that works? Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. So, yes, Zay, as the one who is familiar with kind of the locale that you find yourself in, this would be exactly where you all were instructed to go. Instructed by an individual who issued to you this job. This individual working with an organization called the Shadow Blades. If anybody would like to go ahead and make me a history check against what that organization might be, you definitely can.
Will do.
Give it my darkest.
No, where's my dice?
Adrian, you want
Hey!
to check the lights themselves in there? The torches and stuff on the walls. I think that's
Yeah.
our issue, is that they're not turning on, because I'm still in gray. I can see the outline of a
Click
map.
on your token. Click on your token,
Okay.
Silver.
Oh, is it working now?
That fix it?
Yeah, just our light color is coming through as gray. I don't have any
Yeah,
color.
good to know.
Fix that.
Mine's working fine. Like I'm seeing
It'll be
I
gray
can see
because
the
it's
lighted areas.
I can see the lit areas, but it's like grayscale. As if it
Yeah,
were
that's what I'm
darker.
having. Oh, I'll roll a history check too, I suppose. I'm not gonna roll that high. Oh, or maybe.
Yeah,
Hey!
go.
Oh,
Well,
I'm not gonna roll that high, he says.
Rolls a nat 20.
I'm gonna say that all night now.
Well, for Krelin, you have been accompanying Arbor through the city after you made your gallant return with another individual who you thieved with previously, wonderful Percy Cassius. And you've been in the city, but there's so much to take in. There's so many different places, some buildings that you aren't even let into, just purely based on individuals who decide to go ahead and choose who goes in or not. So you don't have necessarily that much information about this organization. For Onair, been in the city for a while, but you like looking at some of the things that excite you personally. This organization hasn't necessarily piqued your interest. And for Arbor, Zay, and Escher, you know exactly who these individuals are. This is an organization that sent you an invitation.
Ooh.
Just a short while before, you had all received these invitations. No signature upon them, but reading over the words hastily scrawled on these pieces of paper, you knew, based on the icons at the bottom, exactly who you were dealing with. The Shadow Blades, a seedy organization that preferred to go ahead and work in the shadows, picking off people who they thought were not of their best interest, but doing so with the utmost care not to be caught. This invitation was almost a celebration of your own skills and piqued your interest in one way or another. As you all met at the Dark Gate in the Shadow District, this large, imposing structure that had ebony kind of laced throughout it, speckling all of the design and beautifully shining in the moonlight. You were met by a hooded individual who introduced themselves to you. And as a result, you were set upon this charge. This Zilchek, as he named himself. Very, very short individual. Put forth that if you were able to break into the city dungeons and liberate 2 individuals who have been accused of a crime, bring them back, that you would be rewarded handsomely, and not in the normal sense of gold or things like that. You were promised magical artifacts. Not just any magical artifacts, though. Each of you heard about one artifact that piqued your specific interests. These were not the common pedantic magic items that you had seen in shops before, set in gold glass cases with small placards beneath them, but rather things that were old, ancient, and powerful. They could grant your desires, and even though you know that some of these artifacts come with a inherent danger, possible curse, you still each took upon yourself that you could probably beat it. And so, you find yourselves in the dungeons now, in the torture chamber, specifically where you find yourself saying. And Escher, you cautiously move through this space, knowing that the Shadow Blades are quick to silence anybody who opposes them. And now that you have stepped into this dungeon, you should probably complete the job.
DM question. Do we know who was chasing us in the sewers?
Yeah. You went ahead and unfortunately set off some guards upon you as you were moving into the space. Just simple beat guards.
Beat guards. Love it.
Who did?
Your
I need to
entire
point
group.
fingers, so.
Well, it's obviously not you, Mr. Guard. But unfortunately, one of the party members was just a little unstealthy, and therefore set suspicion upon you. And a simple ask of what was going on quickly escalated into a chase through these sewers. But you find yourselves in your destination nonetheless. looking for these two individuals, supposedly marked by burlap sacks upon their head. But of anybody in this dungeon, you should be able to pick out at least those two, is what you were told by Zilchek.
You said he was a man of short stature. Would this be shorter than our Minotaur friend?
Very short, yes, even shorter
Okay.
than that.
Would that be able to presume a particular race?
I'd say so.
Short and stout or short and skinny?
Short and skinny.
Okay.
Definitely leaning into goblinoid territory.
Okay.
Zay will sort of like, after we get up, sort of like reorient himself. Will lean down, unroll the capris, so they're now actual pants. And we'll look around and just be like, well, we're in. So this is the torture chamber. I wish I could sugarcoat this, but this is not a great place. So,
Well, we're not here to sightsee. We're here to do a job.
why not both, eh? When's the last time you were in jail, my friend?
I'd rather not answer that.
Ah, but you have already answered.
I've been plenty of times, but they never hold me long.
Well, for someone who can disappear into the shadows, I imagine being held in a dark dungeon is probably not as much as a secure place.
They lock the door and I'm gone. Don't know what happened.
If one of you have something to block the door, I don't want those others following us up. As I'm standing on the door.
DM, are there any, like, is that a barrel in the corner? Or,
Set off. Are you? Yes. Yeah. That
Then-
would be a actually that would be a wooden apparatus set like an X for stretching and splaying.
oh, okay.
Chiropractor.
Yeah, Onair will take this advanced chiropractic object and he'll attempt to lift it up and put it on top of the that latchway that we came up.
Okay. Just trying to absolutely brute force it.
Yeah.
Arbor will help. Arbor will help lift it.
All right. Then in that
That's
case,
it.
can you?
As they're doing it, can I ask one question? The hatch, did it open down in or up? Okay, cool. If it was down in, this would have ended a lot worse.
Oh,
It's like they
I would already be down.
They pull the hatch down and then they climb through the apparatus.
yeah. You are able to go ahead and kind of both get a grip between Onair and Arbor. One of you all can go ahead and make me a strength check. I would presume Onair with advantage, as you are getting the help action from Arbor.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. As you're moving this, there's a slight grunt as you're moving it. You don't pick it up with quite ease. I'm waiting to see if somebody redeems a reroll. Inevitably, it's going to happen every roll.
Just been banking those points.
This isn't that high of a stakes thing.
No. Arbor, you're able to go ahead and counterweight, and the two of you are easily able to move it over. As you set it down with a slight thump, the hay seems to start to kind of flake in the air around you.
Well, why, thank you. That was a little bit heavier than I anticipated.
We weren't intending to leave for this, I hope.
We are
Or we
now.
can say that like we can move it out of the way again if we need to.
Well, it looked like it was heavier than you thought before if we were trying to do this at a pace later.
we're trying to
we
do
should
it at
always-
pace. Our cover's probably been blown, and we can just run out the front door.
At that comment,
bold.
Escher's going to take a moment to change his guard appearance to a different guard.
There you go. There you go. What does this guard look like?
We're going to go just a standard human with some blonde hair, nice little goatee beard. Keep the battle scars.
Yeah, character. Love
Can
it.
I look at Asha and just be like, the blonde, it's working for you.
We'll see if I can make this work with the ladies tonight once we get out of this shithole.
Yeah, I would definitely. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely go with that. It's a lot better than the usual one.
I do not know if he is complimenting you or insulting you. It is difficult to tell.
I say what I think.
As you hold this conversation in this beautiful decorated torture chamber, you do hear off in the distance the sounds of footsteps. As you would also be aware that there are individuals actively monitoring these dungeons as you were sent inside.
So, is there a door where I'm standing at that's closed or open?
It is closed currently.
Okay, so it's like a solid door, though?
Yeah.
Does it seem to be locked?
You check the knob.
Yeah.
It is unlocked.
Okay. Putting my ear to the door, does it seem like there might be some people, like, right on the other side of this door, or, like, coming down this hallway? Or does it seem like it's further away?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Or...
I'll help.
Perfect.
Cool.
Escher's eagle ears assist you.
I'm only good at passively hearing things, so...
I don't have proficiency in it, so...
No worries.
Oh no, you should let me do it. No.
You put your ear up to the door, and it sounds like the footsteps are far away from you. Not only do you feel confident that there's not anybody on the other side of this door, but you're also starting to get a sense of how large this space might actually be.
So...
Have we
I'll try to turn
cased
to
this
other-
place in any way, shape, or form from before that we would have a general idea of floor plan?
I would say so, yes.
I'm just going to volunteer that Escher's probably spent at least one night in here during his time in Six Bells. Just pretty much a guarantee.
It's more likely to roll for how many times you've been in here than if you...
That's probably fair.
Yeah, quite a few cells.
How many
down
dice do
here.
you want me to roll for how many times I've been here?
D100.
Follow-up question. Have we been given any information as to where the burlap, like, individuals might have been taken to? Like, any sort of quadrant, or...
As you recall your conversation, Onair, you remember asking that exact question over to Zilchek. And a slight snicker from the hooded figure as they just said to you, "Hey, you gotta figure it out."
I mean, there's only so many cells. I've visited a few of them, so in process of elimination, we'll figure it out.
We should probably have. You don't hear anybody on the other side of the door, which is a good start. But Escher, maybe you can pretend to be escorting a couple of us to a cell in your fancy guard get up.
I
Plausible deniability.
suppose volunteers.
You can throw me in jail. Why not?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be easy to say that you're taking a Minotaur somewhere.
Well, I guess that leaves you and me, Krelin, to try to sneak around the other direction.
Stick to the shadows.
Absolutely.
Just to, help sell things. Escher's just gonna go and slap O'Near.
O'Near's gonna slap him back. There's no one around. There's no one to convince.
Trying to get a little bit of blood on your face, make you look like you've been in the torture chamber. I'm not walking out of here without that. Now I look like I got beaten up by the people I'm supposed to be guarding. Never mind.
I can
As he
get
does
blood
that.
on my face.
I was gonna say, as you go to do that, Zay just sort of draws like a quick sort of like sigil in the air, and pushes it towards O'Near, and I will minor illusion the look of someone who has been like beaten and bloodied. And I'm just like, we could do it this way, or you could just keep hitting each other. Both entertaining for me.
Do I
Thank you
feel
for the
anything
assist.
as it like lays on me?
You shouldn't do. It'd just be like essentially just to go there. I'll just be like, perfect. It looks like you have gone 10 rounds.
All right, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, no, I would enjoy slapping him a few more times if that would please you.
We'll see where the night goes, but first let's do the job, eh?
Fair.
I'll turn to Ash. I'll just be like, it's not that you don't enjoy it.
Krelin will slowly start to open the door.
Easily do so. You find yourself looking at the rough-hewn stone of the bottom of these dungeons. There is a light dankness all around you that would make you feel that you are deep underground. It doesn't necessarily feel great, slightly humid. And as you look around, you do see that from the ceilings that rise approximately 10 feet in height, small drops of water that seem to collect in condensation before dripping down into small craters. So it seems like water has been dripping for quite a long time, slowly withering away at this stone.
So yeah, he'll pop out into the hallway, kind of look down one way, look down the other, and kind of look back to Arbor, and just quietly start walking this direction.
All right. You are easily able to do so. Are you quietly moving through?
Yes, very quiet.
Then go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Let me double check something. Okay, I have advantage because the cloak of Elvenkind.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Nice.
Good. Yeah, you are easily able to move through quite quietly. Arbor, you're following behind?
Arbor, actually, you see he kind of closes his eyes and puts his hands together, and this form kind of shimmers like a mirage, and as it resolves, it splits into two. One looks like how he hid before. The other one, made of dark wisps of smoke and shadow. And Arbor's going to stay here next to our alternate escape route. And this shadow is going to follow after Krelin.
Right. Easily does so. You can go ahead and move your token if you want to.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Have we seen Arbor do this before?
No?
I'll try and compose an appropriate reaction.
Escher misses the whole thing. Escher misses this because he stepped back into the cell that we all came out of and grabbing some manacles to put on O'Near.
Mayor's looking down at his hands and looking back up and wondering if he should actually present himself.
Just to sell the bit, we're done with the slapping and
just don't get any funny ideas.
He'll turn to Zay, just like, you could, make some imaginary ones for you.
Oh no, yeah, I was going to. It was like I didn't like the idea of the actual manacles on me. Seems somewhat unsanitary.
Wait, can you just make that look like that on me
It's
as well?
too late now. We go.
Fucker.
As you go ahead and step out, you are heading off in the separate direction from Krelin and Arbor. This odd shadow. This seems to be following behind.
Looking down the hallway, what do we see going straight down the hallway? Or what do I see with my good eyes, I guess?
Yeah. You hear something before you actually see it. You're looking down this long kind of walkway, a door that is slightly ajar with different kind of checkered tile kind of beyond it. But you hear the sounds of footsteps as an individual rounds the corner. And you see this person here. Let me go ahead and see if... Ooh... I can do it. Boom. Y'all see him?
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. As they kind of like step around the corner, they don't seem to have noticed all of you yet.
Escher's just gonna kind of nudge the two that are with him to follow Arbor and Krelin.
Okay. We'll take the direction and pop into the corner, trying to make enough space for Zay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll follow around there as well.
Whoop. As that happens, Krelin and Shadow Arbor, it's getting a little bit tighter over here. But as you're listening out, specifically Escher, you don't hear the sounds of footsteps from anyone else around you in your immediate vicinity. Just that one visible kind of knight who you caught.
Just up round the corner to the left.
Are you directing your compatriots, or are you directing this knight?
Oh, I'm directing my two folks.
Okay, perfect.
My manacled and imaginary manacled friends.
Perfect. Yeah. As you are kind of moving through, you do make a subtle eye contact as this guard just goes ahead and goes, yeah, and turns in the other direction.
I'll give a nice little 2-finger salute as I go. Disappear behind the wall.
Roll me a little performance check for that salute. Let's do it.
Oh.
It's subtle.
Subtle. This guard could not be bothered, so you're easily able to progress through. And your two groups start to slowly move through. You hear...
I was just gonna ask DM, are the cells that we're passing by now, are they like open cells that we can see into, or are they like...
Yes,
So they have
they
walls
just
or-
have iron bars that are kind of sat there, so you can clearly see inside. Many of them half-made beds, a variety of upturned stones, kind of from the bottom, and some of them even small piles of hay.
Fancy.
As we famously split the party, Krelin and Arbor Shadow, where are y'all going?
So the guard is down the hallway with the others, right?
The guard is down below you.
Okay.
You heard the footsteps ever so slightly, but it doesn't seem like they're around right now.
Okay. So I will quickly zoom a bit, from 45 feet or so.
Yeah.
Just kind of quickly checking the couple cells on my right side before stopping at the corner and peeking around.
Funny
Not quite
enough,
that quickly, but
as you're walking through with your deft pace and Arbor Shadow follows, you don't see anybody in any of these cells. You once again see empty cells with the half-made beds. Seems like some of the pillows are hastily thrown up against the stone. You even catch a feather or two sticking out of these stone blocks.
Saga did redeem a reroll. I'm guessing on my performance check.
There we go.
If
Sounds
it's
like
worse,
Saga.
instead of like doing this, you just like
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I was saying like you flick them off.
instead of
That
waving,
juicy.
you're just like
But yeah, go for it with the re-rolling the performance.
Hey, dirty 20.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Saga did confirm.
Thanks for the assist.
You salute, and as this apathetic guard turns towards you, gives you a hasty salute back. You seem more professional than they.
I do my job well. Even if it's not my job.
you feel a faint sense of pride,
Yeah.
knowing that you're better than the other guards.
Krelin, as you're moving up towards this point, you do start to hear faint whispers of something. It sounds like they're a possible individual in the distance. Though it seems to be coming from your left.
Down the hall to the left.
Mhm.
I'll kind of look back towards the shadow and kind of point down that hallway. And peek myself around.
As you do so, you don't necessarily see anybody, but you do hear this conversation. Seems like down this hallway, as it seems to kind of like hit a wall with two open doors on kind of like either side, just seeing the edges of these door frames. Off to the right, you hear just somebody grumbling. Can't believe we have to watch two. Ridiculous.
I'll kind of look back to the shadow, hold up two fingers, point down the hall, and point on the right.
the shadow's going to like pull out a shadowy version of a hammer and point to that, or and then put it away and do like.
Did the others sneak in the other?
Do so.
And I'll step ahead a few cells onto the other side of the hall.
Okay.
Arbor will start moving backwards towards the others.
All right. So you go to Pincer. As Arbor Shadow comes up towards the group of three, walking your charge over to their cell. Snare duel. What would you like to do?
I guess we'll continue moving along here, checking the cells as we go. It depends what point Shadow Arbor turns up.
Shadow Arbor begins to mime a wave as you walk away.
I wave back.
What do you have to say?
What is it, boy?
Can I make out what he's trying to mime out?
Yeah, go ahead and
Make a charades check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you make an insight check.
That seems
Okay.
fair. We're gonna play charades now. We're gonna go with insights versus performance.
Hey, my insight check is worse than Alfred.
Woo! Glowing green.
Are we all allowed to roll?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Let's,
You're playing charades.
Actually, wait, no, it's better than Alfred.
Yes, the only
Only a teeth
downside
flying.
of the shadow is it can't talk.
you take proficiency in charades. As
Would you have
Oh,
to
no.
choose that when you're like choosing a starting instrument? Is that a language proficiency?
Ooh.
Ooh,
a language of
sign
mind.
language.
Mime language.
It's like ASL but slang.
As you all are watching this miming happen, you notice that the footsteps don't return from the general vicinity of where you originally made contact with this other guard. And Zay, you are easily able to interpret it is a join me. As Onair and Escher both kind of stare, Escher, it comes to you. And Onair, you just sat, gears grinding in your head, trying to make out what exactly this could mean.
I think he wants us to follow him. Maybe there's a well of some sorts.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Little Timmy fell down the well.
What's that, boy? You found what we're looking for. Lead the way.
You all begin to follow Shadow Arbor then. And Krelin, as you have been abandoned with hopes that the others will soon be following behind. You got stuck by it. Good.
Yep.
There we go.
Stuck in a cell straight to jail.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Oh no.
Escher's gonna continue down the hallway with the intent of swinging back the other direction.
Absolutely. Krelin, are you just waiting for everybody else, or?
Yeah, I'll wait for the others to show up either on the opposite end or behind me.
Perfect. Quick second later, you hear the sounds of footsteps and the rest of your group seems to be on approach. You see Zay appear. See Onair. And Shadow Arbor quickly following behind.
Yeah, as they come into view and kind of approach me, I'll kind of point down the hall, and using minor illusion, I'll try to create like the turn lane arrows where it's going straight and then turning to the right, and I'll hold up
Perfect,
two
perfect.
fingers.
When there, we'll give a enthusiastic nod of the head.
Yeah, it'll be just like a kind of sparkly purple arrow.
Hopefully like the one you're seeing on the map.
Yeah. And as long as everyone decides to follow with, I'll start moving forward.
DM,
Yeah,
I'll let you just move me as needed to keep pace with timing.
Yeah.
And I did change my vision on here so that it
so now
pulls
you can
up.
see?
So now I have color.
Ah, perfect.
It's
Nice.
the light's not working for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
So I had no vision because I don't have dark vision or anything like that because my ability's weird.
Mm, mm. Thank you for
Is the
changing
light
that.
is the light down here? Is it supposed to be all grey?
There are supposed to be torches, but the lights aren't triggering on the map.
It's weird for me because like by us, I see gray, but down
Yeah,
by
by-
Esther or Escher.
By Escher, you see the normal color. Weird.
Yeah, because we have party
It's
vision
nice.
on, so you guys can see that I can see in color because I have True Sight turned on. Which isn't not. I don't have True Sight. That's just what I had turned on in order to be able to see, because I should be able to see normally.
How does one do that?
Everybody tack on some true sight real quick.
If you just put it on your main character sheet page under senses, just type in True Sight 60 or whatever your. Yeah, I think 60 would be default.
And how would one?
Does this
go
break
about
the
doing
the
that?
campaign?
No, it's fine.
The only thing that True Sight's going to screw up is that if he's got invisible people.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh shit! No. Oh, that's session 2.
You suddenly see we are surrounded.
Whoops.
I can see clearly now.
O'Neill starts singing in the hallways.
That is not on air.
Cataracts have been removed.
So on your main page, it
Yeah.
should say senses next to perception. If you type in there rather than dark vision true sight, you should be able to see.
That's one compliment I have for fantasy rounds is that it's very good about like common case and like not worrying about if it's like spaced out correctly. I just wrote true sight with lowercase.
Lowercase. Ooh,
Or common.
that's,
Yep.
I might have to go in and edit that. This is gonna bother me. I'm just kidding.
Is true sight past one word or two?
One word.
One word.
Oh, I guess it does care.
You should be good. Yeah, I think you have it.
Yeah, color. Yeah. Oh wow, what a nice map.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you, with Krelin's direction, this minor illusion to kind of show you the path off to the right. You do hear the conversation, once again, though not necessarily conversation, more like singular person talking. I sit here all night, and I just don't understand why they can't have somebody else down here. They move everybody out, and they leave me with the... It's fine. It's fine. And you hear the sound of metal grinding against stone.
If anyone's paying attention, Arbor's shadow looks like he's looping up to loop around in the other direction.
Good coordination group. Escher, at this time, you would peek right around. As
Peek around.
Look
Krelin,
both ways
Don't
before
do that.
crossing the street.
you see it as well. This individual right here.
Is he facing us or away?
Facing actually perpendicular to you, kind of leaned up against the wall, this large kind of like plate just scraping against the stone as they sit there with a huff, and they seem to have eyes slowly shifting between the cell slightly to the left and slightly to the right of where they are.
So they're looking towards the left of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And for Arbor, at this point, are you trying to keep pace with the others?
Yeah, I assume he might be a little bit further behind. He might be trying to catch up a little bit, but other than that,
Yeah. You go ahead and move around. You're able to make it about right there. Escher, you would also notice that the guard who originally you kind of saluted to prior, they seem to be slightly poking out into the hallway. It looks like they're kind of like leaned up against some sort of doorway. And they seem to be having just some sort of hushed conversation. You make out a tiny bit of it. This individual talking about their evening, that they want to take a day off. I just want to go and see my kids. Honestly, this job is extremely draining, but at least I don't have to watch the prisoners, so thank you for that. And you hear a gruff grunt from beyond.
With that, can I roll a check to, do I know what that portion of the dungeon is? Like where he might be talking towards?
Roll me a history check with advantage for kind of the lay of the land.
Okay.
As you've been here a couple of times. Nice. Yeah. With that, you would know that there is one room that is beyond there. Almost everybody who is brought in gets to go ahead and walk of shame parade by. This would be the warden's office. Grizzled veteran who runs things with an iron fist. You would not know their true name, as they quite like the anonymity of just being called the warden.
I should just give a quick glance down in that direction, convincing himself, okay, I know what he's doing, and then turn to head towards the guard that's leaning up against the wall, up past the rest of the group.
Perfect.
At a regular pace.
Krelin, are you making any moves as you're kind of peeked around the corner? If anybody else is Scooby-Doo stacked above?
Onair would be like tapping him on the shoulder and like trying to mimic the miming that he saw earlier, like
I'll hold up
pointing to
one
his eyes.
finger and point around the corner, and I'm gonna pull my staff out.
Okay.
I'll tap O'Neill on the shoulder and just be like,
and he'll hold up a singular finger, and he'll point behind him, and he'll continue the gesture as he says, God, why did I say? He'll like gesture as like pulling out something.
so we'll just sort of go,
At this point, Arbor, you make your way around, and you would actually have view on just the slightest corner of this cell kind of before you. There's this juncture that seems to turn left very rapidly on a 90-degree. And inside you see somebody sat on the bed with a bag upon their head.
Say that last part one more time.
An individual sat upon the bed with a bag upon their head.
Oh, okay.
I'll say it again. Sat up on the bed with a bag upon their head. Yeah, that's a tongue twister there.
Any other kind of defining features of the figure?
Yeah. Extremely short in stature. They seem to be lightly kicking their legs off of the end of this bed. Hands kind of just sat in the lap, just slightly bobbing side to side. Did you pick up anything auditory with your shadow, or is it only visual cues?
No, see and hear.
See and hear? Yeah, there's a slight humming that's going on.
Okay.
But this
So-
does seem to be half of your quarry.
Krelin is going to kind of peek around the corner, and he's got what seems like a little piece of fuzz in his hand, and he's gonna seem like he's throwing something, but then just like 5-10 feet past where the dart is standing, there's gonna be like a ting ting ting, like the coin dropping, as he uses minor illusion again.
Okay. Okay. You're doing this near the guard's feet.
Yeah, so on the other side, trying to make him turn northward.
Yeah. You toss this out.
It's at a range of 30 feet, so 30 feet from where I'm at, up.
You pop it. Yeah, you pop it on over past the guard. As immediately this noise kind of echoes. Looks over to the side, and now they are full back towards you.
Yeah, and as he's turned around, I'll slowly start to sneak up behind him.
Perfect. And Escher, you are casually walking down the hallway at a normal pace.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I sent you a question, too.
Gotta fit in.
Yes, yes, yes. I meant to reply to that.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and as long as I take 6 seconds from throwing the imaginary coin and approaching him, I'm gonna try and hit him with my staff with a stunning strike.
All right. As this individual would be considered surprised, you may go ahead and roll with advantage.
Sweet. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. They are quite bulky in their heavy plates. And as you go to hit with the quarterstaff, you attempt to aim with the very top of this towards their head, but they seem to kind of duck just at the moment, and it actually swings on their pauldron. It is this resounding, echoing noise of wood on metal. And with that,
Reroll.
you have... Okay. Yes,
Ooh, okay. So do I reroll that with advantage still, or?
I believe that's how we normally
Yeah.
do it. A
Yeah.
reroll is a full
Okay.
reroll.
Cool.
Yeah. Percy's gonna make us look so bad, help us look so badass during this first.
And then
During
it'll
this
fall
first
apart when
heist.
she'll run
Yeah.
out of points.
Runs out of points, yeah.
Damn.
I think that's a little better.
Little
That
better.
will-
Just a tad.
Just a little
Go ahead
bit.
and hit. Ah, I see.
Is that the
Yes.
second reroll Saga's given us that has resulted in a crit?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
Correct.
Both of them
Yep.
been me.
just blessed.
Then with that, you are able to deftly move in. And just as you're about to make contact with that pauldron, pull yourself back up. What does a nat 20 with this quarterstaff on this poor, unsuspecting guard look like?
Well, he still has to make a con save, otherwise he's not stunned.
Then in that case, have him
I'm not
do that.
sure what the DC is. I can't remember where it's at.
It should be. It's like spell save DC using your wisdom.
Okay, my wisdom's +3, so 8. It's 8 plus proficiency plus wisdom then.
Should be.
Yes.
12, 15.
Got a 17.
Yeah, he saves that. I think I still
Wait,
do damage.
do
though.
you get 2 attacks though, right?
I do have 2 attacks, so I can definitely just smash him in.
Yep. You definitely can.
Yeah, I will spend that 7 key point.
Don't even give him the chance.
Yeah, you try
You
to.
don't
No!
know. Oh, no, that was not a
Shouldn't
good
you
roll.
still have advantage? Wouldn't he still have advantage on? All the
In-
Would you
attacks
be
during-
surprised
during
after you
one
got
action?
hit on the head?
Let's go ahead and see the condition.
It's,
Like one attack though, your attack action counts as 2 attacks.
Yeah.
yeah, it's still one action.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, does he still take damage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I still got a roll damage on. A little bit.
3? Yeah.
Oh, luckily, he only had 3 hit points.
It's-
Here comes the reroll again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
Wait,
did.
it didn't. It didn't count the crit though, so it should be 3 plus 8
That's
plus
true.
your dex, I think, right?
Yeah,
Because
since I rolled
think
it
you
after.
rolled- Yeah.
Yeah, it's my dex, and my dex is 5.
Okay. So another.
So it should be 13. on top of that.
13 on top of that. Cool. All right. So 16.
So I'm re-rolling to hit him. Is that what this is?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
roll your advantage.
All right.
One more chance.
That's a better swing.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Okay, is your quarterstaff being used as a dex ability? As a finesse
Yes.
weapon? Okay,
Yes.
we need to change your
The way you're holding it.
character sheet. If you go into your sheet and go over to the actions.
I think I never changed.
It never changed it to dex.
Yeah,
it's
we need to
a
change
dex,
to that.
It is that.
plus proficiency.
If your dex is +3 and your proficiency is, what, 4?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that there's...
It'd be a +7 to hit rather than the +4 that's going
Yeah, +7 to hit.
That's strange that it's not.
Maybe because it's not
Yeah, it
loaded.
wasn't adding the.
Or, well, no,
wasn't
damage
adding
is
the dex
damage is
for-
just the dex, not your proficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't adding the dex for the.
Well, I just saw that your attacks were only doing
Okay, yeah,
+4,
okay,
which should be your
yeah,
proficiency alone, so...
That is strange because it shows as +9 for my plus a hit. So that is strange.
Nice, O'Neill.
I was looking at. Wait, it didn't change my AC at
Right.
all.
The damage again.
Sorry, I was looking at.
Yeah, that's weird that it's not adding it
2
on.
plus 5 is what it would be.
Yeah.
I can do quick math. You can make me work for it. That's yeah. Takes these 2 palpable cracks to the head. Does seem slightly dazed as he is hunched over. Is anybody else hopping on this?
Another key point for stunning strike. Do you have to make
Yeah.
that save again?
Yeah, he
Is
has
that how you do
make a
it?
con save.
That one.
Even better. So he's not
does.
stunned, but he
Scout
took some
that.
2 good hits on the head.
He does. I think fairly we can say that at this point, if everybody can go ahead and roll me initiative.
I have advantage on that.
Someone would tell me how I
Thankfully.
Initiatives on your main page,
main page?
and just right there in the center.
Oof.
Our dice ran into each other. I think we get to reroll.
Imagine if there was actually collision.
That'd be cool.
Oh,
He's so mad at someone. You made me roll a 1.
I
It'd be like
can't
dice
believe you
Beyblade-
didn't manage to stun him.
Dice Beyblade. I'm here for it.
All right. Arbor, top of the order.
Was Arbor seeing this?
No, I'd say so.
Okay. And the guard is fully aware of our presence at this point, right?
The guard has not turned around to see. As they were hunched over, they got smacked on twice. They are very much hunched over, breathing very heavily as blood is trickling down over their face.
Okay. Arbor is going to kind of step forward and try and grab this guy. Just like grab him hand over the mouth and grapple him and just hold him there. And if you can, drag him back around this corner.
Yeah. Let me take you out of the cell because you jumped into a cell too. But yeah, you want to go ahead and attempt to grapple this individual. So with that, you can go ahead and make your roll.
Do you want me to make an attack roll or an athletics check?
Athletics check. You may go ahead and
Okay.
and he's definitely doing this at disadvantage. Go ahead and see. going to be bad.
Not my best roll, but you know.
It's not awful. Damn.
Oh.
Alrighty. With disadvantage, they're still getting an 18.
Does that mean I win, or does it mean they win?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you.
Okay.
Just
cool.
barely. You kind of have to grab them over, since they're kind of hunched over. But you do manage before suplexing them to go ahead and kind of lure them back. So it will be difficult terrain or like impeded movement since you have another individual with you, but you do have him grappled and you do have his mouth covered.
Yeah. You're going to just like make eyes at Krelin as he starts to pull him around the corner. So AJ, do you rule grappling as the full action or as one of the attacks in a turn?
You can use the attack action, so therefore that would take up all of your multi attacks since it's your full attack action.
Okay, gotcha. Sounds good. Yeah, so he's gonna kind of pull him back a little ways and kind of make as much like eye contact as he can with Krelin as he does.
I'll move him mid space with you. But anything else you'd like to do with your turn? Pretty active role in this.
Yeah, is this as far as I can get?
Yes, that would be as far as you can get, kind of sat in front of this empty cell.
Yeah, I just wanted to get out of eyesight if the other guy decided to take a look.
Perfectly fine. Then we will go ahead and move on to Krelin. Taking in the sights of what you just did, you do immediately clock an individual in the cell immediately to your left. They seem to be kind of sat on the bed, actually laid down with this burlap sack over their head.
Okay. I will go up to the door. Is the gate locked?
Would you like to check?
Yeah.
It is locked.
Alright. I will not even bother going to look for the keys since Arbor took the guy. I'm just gonna try and pick the lock.
Okay.
Can
Go ahead
Krelin
and
use a
go for
key
it.
point to open a lock?
No, he cannot.
It was worth a shot.
You can have inspiration because that was a really funny joke.
I will take it.
Does a 26 work?
26 does work.
Can you imagine if he said no?
Right? It's like, alright, let's go look for these
Yeah.
The
keys.
doors.
Yeah.
This is just a wall. What are you doing?
It's just a wall.
Can anyone melt stone?
Only on Thursdays.
Just melt the stone around the hinges and pull the door off.
There is no Thursday. What day is it, AJ?
What day is it?
Ooh, should we put that as a channel point redemption?
Sorry, what?
What day
It's the
is
6th of Fadermon.
Ooh.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't hear the actual day.
The 6th of
The
Fadermon.
6th.
Oh.
Day of the week.
You're going
I
to
would have
pull
to
up
pull
the
the
calendar.
It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I would have
Yeah.
to pull up the calendar. I did so good. I figured out the day. But yeah, bonus points to anybody if you can figure out what that day is in significance to Civil Spirit. But
It was about to.
Krelin, you crack the door. You're easily able to kind of get through the lock that's kind of inset into these iron bars. It opens before you. And what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go in and kind of crouch down by this dude laying down and be like, well, we're here to get you out of here. Did we keep the badge on? You want it off? Any idea where your friend's at?
No, I don't exactly know where my friend is, but I guess you might save you. Keep it on though. I don't want to be privy to any identities if this is supposed to truly be anonymous.
Fair enough. Upsy daisy then, and I'll try to grab him and start walking him out of the cell.
All right, yeah. Hand holding, bag on the head. You escort this individual out of the cell.
Yeah.
They do seem to have their other hand out, kind of like feeling along things.
I'll just try to step out the cell, see if anyone else is coming,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I'll
Just
let my
Escher
team
shaking
right there.
his head.
I'll wait for
Yeah.
the others.
Easily catch Escher's nod of disapproval, and we move to somebody who is not visible. Another individual. Escher, you feel confident that this guard is still engaged in conversation with the warden, and we hear the soft hum of this very musically inclined goblinoid. Kind of kicking about, not even hearing all of the commotion that's kind of going on, lost in their own world. Oh, Nair, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
First question. We came up through one entry point. Do we have an idea of a secondary like door or entry point that we could exit throughout?
Yep. You got it, Escher.
Yep.
There are stairs that descend down here, so it would make sense that you may ascend them upward.
Excellent. I love how stairs work. I think Onair is just going to round the corner and try and see if he can clock the second cell and see who's in there.
Okay. Yeah. You go ahead and move up. Seeing this individual, it's very small. Seems to have kind of like a mottled tan skin with like brown specks all over them. Just happily kind of bobbing back and forth. Seems like some odd kind of metronome that they're going off of. And as you approach, you even notice that they're clapping horribly offbeat to the noise that they make.
Okay. That's as far as I can get, so Onair will just give them a quizzical look and turn back to Krelin and like gesture inward and like give a "you hear this?" like, but not actually saying anything, just like sort of head nod.
Kron's gonna try to bob his head along with it.
Perfect.
But that'll be my turn. Not too much.
Alrighty. Then, over to Zay.
I think Zay will sort of like again move forward just a little, sort of look over and see them getting that. See Escher walking down and then just sort of walking towards where Escher is.
You can easily do that. The look of disapproval still upon Escher's face?
At this point in time, it turns to a shrug.
All right. Indifference it
It's
is.
a shared shrug, I think, at this point. That will do for my turn. Just see what happens else after. So.
All right. Over to Escher.
Just as a Saga did answer what day of the week it is, that it's Knockstog.
There we go.
And guessed
Come on.
whether it's Alfred's birthday.
It is.
And I looked up that it's the day you guys arrived in Ashmain in the Sybil Spear campaign.
Happy birthday, Alfred.
Happy birthday.
Don't know who this guy is, but we'll wish him a happy birthday.
Everyone feels warm throughout them. They don't know why.
Forgetting someone's birthday today.
Okay, Escher's turn. Escher's gonna. I gotta gotta read quick. I'm gonna be the bad player here that has to read his abilities and know to figure out what the hell he's doing.
It's not like you haven't seen us do it a million times.
Never. We're professionals.
Professionals. Of standards.
Professionals.
Okay. I don't know whether it's an action or bonus action. That's what I was looking up.
Mm-hmm.
To pop out my familiar.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. What do we see emerge?
In the form of a small rabbit. And going to direct my familiar to run down the hallway towards where this guard is that's been talking to the other individual. With instructions to then turn the corner once it gets to that full movement.
Okay.
I had to look up what the rabbit has for speed, but I think it's under
What color is the rabbit?
white.
Little
I
snow
can look
hair.
up a
rabbit out of
rabbit
a
for
hat?
this.
I think there should be hair at a
hair. That's what
potentially is what you're gonna find.
Yeah, a little snow hair.
If you need stat block, I can look it up. I know there's one in Frost Maiden I can pull up. If there's not one in here.
That's a different type of hair. That's not as cute and cuddly as I thought. Jeff.
You gotta follow the white rabbit.
There is what we're gonna go ahead and do instead. In the meantime, I'm gonna just casually give you an avatar depth as your
Yeah.
familiar. Alright, that is.
He has a speed of 20.
Oh my
Rabbit.
gosh, that's
Really?
good.
That seems really small. That seems really slow for a rabbit.
Oh, let's see. Does the familiar take its own turns except for the attack action? Acts independently of you, but obeys your commands. Rolls its own initiative. So it can take the dash action as a bonus action.
Perfect. Okay. So you're having it run around the corner opposite of you, or
Head back towards where we came from. Going
Okay.
to head down the hallway past those guys and then head back towards the torture chamber.
And you're summoning it right next to you, initially.
I don't know that. Can I? Let's see. I can make it go within 30
Somewhere
feet.
within.
So I would go 30 feet down the hallway,
Right.
closer towards
Okay.
where it's wanting to go.
All right. So
Give it a
something
little head
like
start.
that 25, and then have it move and dash.
So yeah, probably one more square to go to 30, and then
Mhm.
then dash 40.
All right.
I've
Cool.
lost him.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, you are easily able to do that then.
So that
So-
would use. I presume that would use action and bonus action. Just leave me with move.
I do believe so.
Okay.
Because I think.
I wasn't able to find anything specific on whether it's an action to bring it back out. Oh yeah, as an action. So summon it with the
Yeah.
action, bonus action to tell it what to do.
Perfect. Cool.
And I'll move down the hallway a little bit, but then that's gonna be it for my turn.
Alrighty. Go ahead and approve that movement. We are over to the grappled guard. The grappled guard is easily going to go ahead and make a movement out of your grapple. So they're going to attempt to struggle against it with this.
Do I need to make a counter one?
Yes, I believe you do.
No! Ah!
Nah. Believe the knight wins this one.
Oh my gosh! Yep, yeah. As meets it beats it, this knight is easily able to go ahead and kind of like pull themselves out. There's a rattling of the pauldrons as they kind of dip through, and part of their armor is actually doffed in this process as your arms quickly grip into.
Reroll again
some
from
weights.
Saga.
Thank y'all
Yes.
for being on the. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Let me go ahead and re-roll it then.
Yes.
There you go. You are able to go ahead and keep hold. I could roll against it, but I'm gonna just say that the higher of the two takes. They tried to squeeze out. Their pauldrons still rattle, but they are not able to escape your grasp, and your hand is still confidently over their mouth as you do hear a muffled as they don't seem quite excited to be in your grip. But immediately, that is top of the order. Over to you, Arbor.
Arbor is going to take the opportunity to, while it's grappled, to take some attacks on it. Take some attacks on him.
Yeah, you can definitely go ahead and roll some attacks on him. Do you believe?
Okay.
And magic?
I don't think he gets it. I don't think I get an advantage, unfortunately.
No.
He's not restrained. He's just grappled.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
What
My
weapon do
rolls-
you take out as you try to
My-
make this attack?
My hammer.
You going for any specific part?
Yeah, if I'm trying to knock him unconscious, probably the head.
All right. Yeah. You attempt to, as you're grappling, simultaneously whack-a-mole this guard, but it proves difficult, especially as you are actively grappling.
Sure.
That does hit though.
AJ, you can put the grappled condition on the knight if you haven't
On the
already.
night- Yes, because I know how to add conditions. Effects. I need to go to. Which one is? Which one is effects?
Should be the one with the little stars above the head.
Okay, perfect. Oh, I got it.
Though you can't see him, at this moment, Arbor, his face grits in determination, and a pulse of extra energy fills the shadow. And I'll use Unleash Incarnation to make one more attack.
Oh, snap. Yeah, go for it. This guard's taken some palpable hits upon them. And they just keep on coming. Roll that damage.
Oh, minimum damage. Oh wait, I applied it to myself.
Yes,
I
you
think.
did indeed click on yourself, but that's okay. I can go ahead and remove it from you and put it upon
Thank you.
them.
I think it is overlapping.
Yeah, we'll move.
Oh, I didn't quite manage to knock him out. I rolled a little bit higher on my.
This guard is looking extremely bloodied. At this point, you can barely make out any of their facial features as they are just kind of like covered in blood from all of these wounds. But anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Arbor?
No, I don't think so. I don't really have any good bonus actions at the moment.
Alrighty. then let's go ahead and move over to Krelin.
All right. How much noise is Arbor making with this dude over there?
At this point, the head hits are the biggest problem, as it is making a sound. Not too unlike in a brief flashback what it would have been like if your quarterstaff were to ostensibly miss this guard's head and instead hit their armor.
All right, cool. I'm gonna turn to this dude and be like, stay here 1 second. And I will walk up to this knight and Krellin's gonna like swipe at this dude's face with his hands, kind of sharp nails, and he's gonna use his bloodthirst ability.
Nice. Okay.
Ooh.
Haven't done that before, so I'm just gonna do
He is,
unarmed strike.
He is pretty bloodied.
Ooh. I will try to end with my second. Oh, sorry, that's damage.
You try again with the other attack. Second attack.
There it
There
is.
you go.
Oh, it's almost a nat 20.
So 1 plus 1d6. So he takes 4 necrotic damage,
Mhm.
and if it reduces him to 0, he just dies outright.
He is not at
Oof.
0, but he
Alright.
is extremely injured. At this point, you just see blood kind of sputtering past all of the grappling that Arbor is doing against this individual.
Bonus action attack?
I don't know. I can use the key point for that, huh?
You could. You could
No,
form
you
your
get
bow.
you get one
Oh,
you get
unarmed
one
strike,
bonus
yeah.
action attack for free. You get one bonus attack for free. You get,
That is right.
key point will
Yes,
give you 2.
an unarmed. Yeah, I can do an unarmed as bonus. Yeah,
Mugs are nasty.
we'll go for it.
Ooh, that does hit.
Yep.
And I'll do the bloodthirst again
Okay.
for only
3
3
more.
points.
Death's door. As this individual, you notice as Arbor is grappling them, they're not fighting back nearly as much, and they seem to start to almost like ease into this grapple and nearly limp.
That didn't work as well as I wanted it, but that is my turn.
All right. With that,
You could have had him unconscious.
we head over.
Yeah, I could have just punched him, but you know.
So, there's been a change that it's not been implemented on Krelin's stat sheet,
Oh,
but with using the vampire ability, if you did the bite, which did you do the bite or did you just try and use the secondary ability?
It was just the bloodthirst. So it says when you make a melee attack, you drain the blood and life energy from them. So it doesn't say if it's a bite or anything like that specifically.
Okay.
It is a melee attack. The Feast of Blood
Is the secondary ability? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look at this quick and I'll send AJ whatever he needs.
appreciate it.
Don't want to hold anybody out.
You're not holding anybody up, especially not as this other guard decides to go ahead and move out of the doorway as they were holding a conversation. And they move out to go ahead and look down the hallway, quickly catching sight of Zay, of Escher, and of something beyond. They are going to immediately call out, Warden, I think we have a problem. And they are going to go ahead and move forward.
That didn't quite work as well as we hoped.
Didn't see the rabbit.
No, did not see the rabbit, actually.
Damn rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Going to go ahead and stand next to Zay and kind of like pull out a very large greatsword and kind of just like hit it into the stone, kind of finding purchase into these small nicks, and just kind of hold it there and say, I really don't think that you should be in here.
Oh no, we are supposed to be in here.
That is their turn, though. As at this point, the individual who has not been liberated from their cell just stops what they were doing and just kind of like leans on to the actual kind of like posts of the bed and just seems to kind of like have this covered ear facing forward. There is a slight kind of poking on the sides of the burlap sack. But on air.
Okay, clarification on the vampire thing.
Yes.
That's a specific ability, so you would not be able to use it on the unarmed strike to do the vampire thing. It's an attack, melee attack, to choose to use that as your melee attack.
Gotcha.
So roll back the 2 from the d6, but keep the 3 from the original.
Yeah, he would just have on that bonus attack would just be the typical D4, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Monks damage dice get improved.
You should have something
Or
for your unarmed strike.
yeah, arm strike
At 10th
is
level, your unarmed strike should be 1d6.
Okay, so you'd be good with the damage that you dealt. It just would have been straight regular bludgeoning damage.
When you've added your dex on the damage, then
Your dex, though, right?
so you'd have added +5, so you'd have done 8 and 7. Would you have just crushed this man's face?
on the one attack. With the bloodthirst ones, it's just 1 and the 1d6 necrotic.
Yeah, so you
But on
should
the
there should
second,
be another
Because I only see the one.
on the bonus action attack.
Yeah, the
Add
bonus action
extra-
attack would have had the dex
Plus
added
5.
on.
then in that case,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I just he is out.
Or did you try to do it non-lethally or lethally?
He tried to suck his blood originally, so
I don't know if we
Fair
change
enough.
tactics between attacks.
Yeah, this
You
is
made the
Krelin we're
point
talking
of-
about.
You made the point of noting that the feature makes them
die outright.
Die outright.
I think a tent has been established.
There has
He's
never
here for
been
the
more
money.
lethal damage. There's never been more lethal damage done.
And in that case, yeah. Arbor,
Raisin
you
in the
feel
sun.
a full slump. Tennessee Williams. You feel a full slump in your arms as this individual does not seem to have any signs of life about them anymore. That is over to Onair, though.
Yeah, Onair will see the individual walking up and realize that we need to get things going. Knowing that he can't actually do anything about the cell, he'll walk back towards them, or back towards they, and then
Okay.
towards the night, he will just casually start talking and say, Right, we're definitely supposed to be here. You should drop your weapon. And he will command him to drop his weapon.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and, with the spell, go ahead and drag that save onto this knight.
Yeah, happy to.
Alrighty. Let's see.
Nice.
That is a failure.
Nice.
This knight goes, okay, and just lets go of the sword as it just falls forward and clatters at their feet.
Why, thank you. DM question, as I have cast this, can I, like, pull something out of my bag as well? As a...
Object interaction?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He'll go ahead and pull out the decanter of endless water.
Yep.
And he is going to use his bonus action to spray this knight.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a
14,
DC 13 strength save.
Okay.
What is a prison break without a slip and slide?
Strength save?
Yeah. Just 13.
We're just gonna slide our way out of here.
That is a 13.
Oh, he
Mhm.
makes
13
I think he
exactly.
makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
as this happens, I'd really like him to not pass that save.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. No.
I
You
don't
definitely
know. Yeah,
may.
yeah. I don't know how I show that or do that in here, but. do I
Well,
drag
what
it
does
or
it
something?
look like?
Yeah,
as
what do you do?
cast
Oh.
This infamous
Oh, okay.
spell.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's everyone's favorite spell, unless you're a DM. And I think as you sort of spray this, and he's sort of standing there, I think you see him just sort of like, he just sort of like, essentially like taps out a little rhythm like on his chest because it's like a different kind of magic, and he's just like, no, and I don't know where I do that or how I.
I will
show
go
that.
ahead and re-roll that, as it is a failure. But what you need to do is also determine who's going to get that sweet advantage.
Oh,
Mhm.
Me.
Ooh! Boise.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
I am next at doing this. I am
Now-
next to do things.
As you do silvery barbs, if you want to, you can drag the effect onto yourself.
Okay.
There's not an effect inherently for disadvantage because it's just a reroll, but there's an effect for the advantage on your next attack check or save.
If someone would tell me precisely how I do that, I would.
So
love
if you
to
click
do
the
that.
little go to your actions tab
Yep.
and click the little magnifying glass that's next to the spell,
Yep. Yep.
and there should be an effect there that you can just a little crippled person you
onto
drag
yourself.
on.
Yeah! Cool.
I got this.
Now we're cooking.
Pick up quick.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
so
failed,
the Onair will unstop the decanter and it'll spray out a stream. For a second, you'll see the guard sort of like being able to brace it, I guess, and then you'll see this like tapping off to the side, and he'll go blasting away. Or actually, he'll get knocked prone is what I want. And he'll take
Yes,
1d4.
If you want to go ahead and roll that 1d4.
Of course.
2
Two.
damage.
2 damage.
Nice.
Takes it as just like the guards that you were able to go ahead and prevent in pursuit prior, you actually see the fruits of your labor before you as this individual slips and falls, clattering very loudly right next to the sword they were commanded to draw. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, that's it.
Alrighty, then that is over to Zay.
I think the next thing for me to do is after this guy's been like disarmed and then thoroughly dampened.
Oh, sorry.
I will get him away from. No. I think I know what I'll do. I will sort of like lean down towards him, and just be like, we're supposed to be here. Don't worry about it. You stay right there, and I will use hold person on him.
Yeah?
Nice.
And if you
Reciprocating.
do I do this? No, I have to choose someone.
Yes. So if you go to the spell and you go ahead and see that save on there, you can go ahead and drag it onto Night 12 in the
Night 12.
combat tracker. There you go. And they tremendously fail.
Nice.
What does your hold person look like?
I think in the same way, it's like a more complex version of the minor illusion that he did before. You see him sort of with his sleeves sort of rolled up. He sort of traces along some of the sort of arcane isometric symbols on himself, and then sort of almost like pulls off something, and then just sort of forms it almost like a net over him to keep him paralyzed to the ground.
Absolutely. Indeed, this individual is now prone and paralyzed.
And then I will
Lovely.
move back up to here, so I'm out of the way.
Are properly able to do so. As it is now your rabbit's turn.
Whereabouts is the rabbit at this point? Because I can't see anymore.
The rabbit is about midway on the lowest hallway. So
Okay.
almost back to where you kind of entered through the torture chamber.
About how far away would that be?
35 feet from the door.
How far away from me?
How far away from you? 20. About 80 feet from you.
Okay. Okay. Well, I suppose it's still working under the previous direction because I can't do anything. It's the rabbit's turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't give it additional direction. It would just continue doing what it was told to do, which would be run towards the torture chamber with the start a circuit, basically, that it was just supposed to go around in circles around the entire jail. So
Is it going to dash as well?
I believe that would probably be what it would continue to be doing. That's what it's supposed to be doing, just run as fast as it can.
All right. It clips the corner just ever so slightly. And yeah, that's the rabbit's turn. You have this individual with the bag over their head, just feels around them, kind of like slightly leans back and just says, "Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm just gonna wait." And that is their turn. As it is over to Escher proper now.
Okay. With Zay out of the way, and Knight is paralyzed in a hold person,
Absolutely.
and there's a bunch of water flowing down the hallway, right? A lot of water? Like, visually, how much water?
An endless amount.
30 gallons?
Okay.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, Escher's gonna go move down the hallway.
So you do so. I see the open doors of a small kitchenette.
Okay. And then gonna cunning action dash.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Bonus action, do it up.
To get that far. Can't quite get to the corner. And then can I use my action to give direction to my familiar? Instead of my bonus action, since I've used my bonus. Or actually, you know what? We'll flip-flop them
I
either
will let you
way.
action
So,
dash. Yeah,
because I can action dash.
it,
So
you can do it.
I'll action dash, bonus action, direct the rabbit to come back this direction. Back
Okay.
towards the entrance.
Perfectly fine. You go ahead and do so as we are back towards the top of the order. Arbor, a dead man lay in your arms.
Is that a metal song?
Probably. In some capacity.
It's a typo negative song, I think.
How much have I clocked about Um, about what's happened down here.
About what's happened like around the corner.
Yeah.
You've heard a massive amount of clattering, banging, and smashing. Metal on stone, not too unlike the sounds you heard before, but much more intense and much more force behind it. It's very well echoed throughout the space.
Mm. I think Arbor's just gonna drop the guy, and come up to this cell door, preparing to give the help action to Krelin to unlock the other cell door.
Okay.
Ernie just redeemed where Sybil.
Easy crazy. I'm opening up my letter doc.
Let's see, on the Sisyphaterman, we just got to Ashmain. So what was
Yeah.
Alfred doing when we first got to Ashmain?
We went like straight to the inn and just fell asleep, right? We got there kind of at night.
Yeah, it was after everything had happened with
Yeah, that's true.
our interesting seafaring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Went by that miners guild and had some spike tail.
Oh,
Good answer, Saga.
wait, what? Jeez.
Saga, very fair. So, what would you like to do, Arbor? You're helping Krelin, so you're prepping to be able to assist with the lockpicking.
Yeah, I'm giving the help action. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then in that case, we'll go ahead and hop right next in line. Krelin.
Yeah, Crown's gonna kind of stand up straight, looking over this dude's body, kind of lift his fingers a little bit. Normally goes a lot smoother. And he's gonna step up to this door and he's gonna lockpick.
All right. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
So a
Easily.
23.
Nice.
As you go ahead and unlock this door, this individual who's been leaned over kind of immediately perks up and kind of like stands up on the bed. They are a very short height off of the bed. They're looking like 3 feet, I believe.
Sanitation crew, we're here to clean.
Oh, I don't know if you're sanitation, but would you let me out?
Are you friends with this other guy with the bat on his head?
Yes. Generic, but yes.
Then absolutely, come on. He's gonna try to lead him out the door into the hall.
Alrighty, then at that time, you're gonna see this individual kind of hop on down and feel their way out of this cell. Congratulations, you have 2 head-bagged individuals standing in this hallway with a dead body around the corner and 1 paralyzed on the floor. Anything else you
You
want
should
to
make
do?
a run for it.
Colin's gonna turn to the shadow and be like, "So where's the exit door?" Obviously getting no response from Echo, but yeah, that's Krelin's turn.
Alrighty. Then, Escher, congratulations. You hear the stomping of metal as an individual steps out before you. Tall, imposing, 6 feet tall, and not able to exit this room. Gosh darn.
He's stuck in there. Yes,
He
plan
is.
success.
He hit the gym a little too hard. His chest is too wide.
I'm gonna delete this token, and then I'm gonna drag it out right here. But yeah, you are face to face with one who you have seen prior. Imposing individual. He's like 6'2", with large metal breastplate on, large kind of cloak wrapping around their neck and upwards over their nose, kind of obscuring a lot of their face. And as they come out, they seem to have a very large longsword that's kind of slightly scraping and sparking on the stone. They stand before you with a mighty imposing presence. And they are going to go
Thank
ahead
goodness
and
you're disguised.
they are going to take the moment to say, what exactly is going on here?
So there's been a bit of a leak. Some water pipes or something is leaked. You see all the water all over the floor. Something's going on. I have a couple of the prisoners out in the hallway. They're still manacled up. We got to get them out of there, get them into another place before they drown. You know how the magistrate and everything wouldn't take too kindly to that. But, we should get this in hand. If you got any other hands and want to send them, otherwise, mechanic? Custodian?
They kind of lean this sword up against the corner of the wall, just a long sigh. And you may go ahead and make your deception check.
Please.
Okay.
Honestly, this place is not worth. Just immediately kind of like walks past you, not paying you any mind. As they continue down, their longsword still sat up on the corner, kind of like right next to you.
Honestly, I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Me neither. And gives a hearty laugh. It makes you slightly uncomfortable. But that is going to be their turn, just kind of pursuing outward.
Did they see Oneris yet?
Yeah, and does see what is going on down the corridor. Though the fact that the two prisoners are stood outside of their cells, just as this random guard was able to describe, slightly willing to overlook maybe the niceties of the
Isn't Oneir
individual
still
fallen on
wearing?
the floor.
Isn't Oneir still wearing manacles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have the
Yeah,
key.
the guard on the floor means nothing to them. So that's over to the paralyzed knight. For hold person, they do have the opportunity to go ahead and make a save against it.
Yeah, at the end of that turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it wisdom?
Yeah, DC 17.
Well.
Everybody channel your inner Alfred to wish him poor luck on a wisdom save.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Okay. He does technically have a +2 to this. Yeah. He fails.
Not enough.
We are going to go over to the individual, extremely short-statured, stood next to Krelin and Arbor, just kind of waiting there, kind of moving forward on their heels a little bit, feeling the freedom of being outside of this cell. But that's their turn. Oneir. Manacled and in the hallway, just as Escher put forward.
Did I happen to hear Escher talking to them? Or were they too far away?
Escher, were you being particularly loud?
Wasn't trying to be quiet.
Okay. Carried like many of the other loud noises that have been happening in here.
Okay. Oneir will play the part. Not doing anything as the warden walks by. But he'll hold an action if the warden becomes hostile, I guess. He'll try and whip out his weapon to attack him if he's within range.
Okay.
But that'll be Onair's turn. He's trying not to make eye contact with the warden either.
Okay. Then in that case, moving on to Zay. You are slightly out of view.
I think what Zay's going to do is, after hearing what Ash is up to, out of view of everyone, of this Kingsguard walking up, he's just going to be like, okay, guys, move over this way. We're going to put you in some cells over here until we can fix the water problem. So if you just want to follow me over here, and I will beckon to Onair as well as the two people who have come out of these cells.
All right. Yeah. The two with bags over their heads might struggle, but Onair, you're right there. Feel pretty confident about being able to follow this. Anything else you want to do, Zay?
I'll move a little bit back to give them like an opportunity to like move in so they're slightly more hidden or step into a cell. And these cells are open or closed?
They are closed currently.
Okay, and I'll check one of the doors. Is it locked?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The iron bars.
Perfect. Then yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just sort of to beckon the prisoners, as it were, to come down this way, move into some other cells.
All right.
That'll be my turn.
Easily able to do so as we move over to the rabbit's turn. It is going to come back towards you. 20 feet movement.
I would use as much movement as it can to get as close to me as possible. So if it can dash the 40, if that, I don't know how close that'll get him.
Yeah. Can you... just out of your view.
Okay.
About midway down. Alrighty. Then... kind of moving over, holding on to the wall with kind of a shaky hand. They are going to go ahead and move about.
I'll be still talking in a to try and sort of guide them towards the sound of my voice.
You air traffic control quite wonderfully over.
As he gets close, can I just be like, okay, you need to just keep going down the corridor. Do you want me to take this bag off your head?
No, I don't necessarily want to be involved with any of your identities. If this is exactly what's happening, you are liberating me from this location, correct?
Yes. How's your vision in the bag?
Just waves a hand before.
That's good, bad?
No.
Okay, good. Right. So you want to escape but not see anything as you're doing it. I feel like you're making this harder than it needs to be.
I am simply following directions and very much kind of like stumbles slightly as they head down. They are going to go ahead and dash. Get that far. Cool. And then in that case, let's go ahead and move to Escher. End of the round.
Decisions.
Indeed.
Okay. Based off prior experience of having met this warden before, obviously with limited interaction, what kind of vibe would I have as to his mental capabilities?
Mental capabilities. Go ahead and give me an insight roll.
Okay. Not good. Not awful.
You've heard many stories about this warden, about how he comes with a lot of military experience. And so, with martial prowess being at the forefront of most of the stories, however enhanced they might be, you feel they probably lie with something more physical.
Okay. All right. We'll give her a shot.
Go for it.
Okay, just double checking something here. Okay. Escher goes, touches the right at the top of his chest, like just below where the neck meets the abdomen. There's nothing there with his disguise, but he's clearly touching at something. Mutters a few words as he's going to attempt to cast suggestion.
Perfect. Go for it.
I'm on.
So let's see here. What do we got? Wisdom save.
All right.
Yes.
That was close. That was way closer than what I liked
So
it to have been.
close.
All right. And the suggestion is to check to make sure everything is okay in the torture chamber.
All right. And in that case, your thoughts kind of impressed upon the warden. The warden immediately adopts them as his own. Says, "Oh goodness, I just need to go check on the torture chamber. Last thing I want is more
Oh, no.
rust." And
Is Escher aware that Arbor is still in the torture chamber?
Yeah.
we're gonna fix it. We're gonna get there. Because at the end of this round, Escher, are you gonna do anything else with your turn?
Okay, so that's my action.
Sure.
He's going to just move 5 feet there, and with bonus action, direct the hair to book it back to Arbor in the torture
All right.
chamber.
Sounds good. As you issue this mental command upon the hair and this mental influence over the warden, as we go ahead and go towards the top of the round, towards a hidden arbor.
So my first question is,
Mm-hmm.
with my perked up listening ears,
Mhm.
and passive perception of 19, would I have heard the warden say that?
I'll go ahead and say this. With your passive, you notice the disposition of the warden. Not necessarily the words, as he did kind of mumble them as he walked off.
Okay.
Because one person in here knows how to actually whisper. But no, but you do catch his disposition. He seems to look straight towards that area and just pan away. What are you thinking?
I think that's not enough information to go off of.
Very fair.
That's life.
Um,
Constantly having not enough information.
yeah. What would he do?
So was your question whether Arbor would hear or what the Echo would hear?
The Echo would hear.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because Arbor can't hear anything, because his
If
sight
he's in.
and hearing is coming from the...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When he's in, his sight and hearing is coming from the Echo. And he's blind and deaf over there in his little cubby hole. Oh, I guess he's just gonna try to hide for the moment.
Okay. Yeah. You can go ahead and roll me a stealth check then. I know there's a proper way to be able to apply like a stealth. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Got it.
Does it automatically?
Mhm.
Take like a half step to the side and just kind of try to go along with Escher's words about the prisoners and make myself unseen.
Okay. Over to Krelin in that case.
Alright, so does Krelin know that we're going to be going out the front door?
I don't believe that was
We did make that
inherently
comment.
communicated.
I would say
Made that
we
comment.
all know that the torture chamber is not an exit anymore because of the people that pursued us.
Yeah, you put the
Chiropractic equipment.
the chiropractic equipment, thank you.
There you go.
On top of the door. So
everybody would be aware of that, whether we would all be aware of this being the only other exit is the front door.
I think so.
Somebody rolled for that.
With all of us now,
Yeah.
like, having been here before.
So I would kind of like hide my hands behind the little goblin fellow in front of me to act like my hands are manacled and be like, "You heard the guard that way," and I'll kind of nudge him along down the hall and then cut around the corner until we know that the warden is not in sight.
all right, cool. Yeah, functionally, I'll allow you to go ahead and kind of like guide this goblin forward. If you want to go ahead and move, you'll move with half speed.
Hop around the corner. The half speed would be 25.
You could easily like gesture forward and then kind of like circumvent and go around if you want your full movement, though.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. All right.
I mean, my full movement's 55, so I don't think I need that much, but
I mean, why not flex it?
get around the corner, out of sight from the warden.
Cool.
And,
Zay's still very slowly kind of like issuing out kind of commands.
Pretty much. And like until he knows everyone's like within earshot of him and he can see them so he can explain.
Yeah, no, I think that would be Krelin's turn.
Perfect. Then we are going to go ahead and have. That is their turn. This knight is going to go ahead and make one more attempt as they are just kind of like sat there, paralysis having take over their body, and
Whew.
still stuck.
An 18 rolled away, thank God.
Slight
Thanks,
only
Sephora.
Yeah.
with that 6. But that is over to your goblin friend, who is going to go ahead and move. Go ahead and feel around the corner and going ahead and dashing. And over to O'Neill.
Yeah, Onair will follow suit, or like get in line. And
Just small line for me.
Yeah, that'll be his turn. Happy that things are progressing quite nicely.
Zay, you have gathered all but Arbor and Escher in this hallway with you.
In that case, now the guy's walking away, I'll sort of pitch my voice a little bit lower and just be like, okay guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn back around. We're going to head back towards the main stairs past the warden's office, because the warden should be at this stage on his way to the place that we entered the prison. Okay, so about turn, walk back down as fast as you can, back down the corridor.
Works for me.
That's good.
You get nods from the back individual.
I'll look at Krelin. I'll just be like, let Arbor know also.
I'll peek around the corner and see if I see the echo anywhere.
Perception
Roll
check
me a
against the
perception
stealth.
check. Yeah, you got it
Yeah.
rolled against it. It was pretty good.
Was
I'm
it
not great at
22?
perception, but we'll see.
Yeah, 22.
Oh, it almost came back to that
I
19.
almost went
almost
over
would have
to
matched
19.
it.
Hey,
I would
folks,
have
maybe
matched
this
at
is
the
the time for the
19.
reroll redemptions. Yeah, you look down. You don't see Arbor.
I'm not sure where he went, but I guess we'll find him.
Sorry, I need to be standing slightly off to the offset from the prone gentleman. I don't want to stand on him.
You do. There you go.
There was the
You
reroll.
go ahead and reroll the perception.
Nice. Let's see if I can get that 19.
Yeah, I have to hit
19 or not
19
20.
or 20.
Yeah, 19 or 20. No.
Close.
No.
Close. You double take? Nah. You don't see Arbor.
Can I see
Nope.
Arbor as I
Just
walk
him.
around the corner?
As you go ahead and stand there, you can go ahead and make a perception check.
Alright.
Shadow of Arbor.
Oh! Yeah. I don't even know which way are you supposed to be. I'm looking down the wrong way in the corridor.
There is a delay.
Yeah.
I almost want to hold to see. But yeah, you do not see Arbor either.
That will end my turn. Actually,
Alright.
no. Actually, I'm going to do one more, was a bonus action.
There it is.
There's the reroll.
Oh, is there a reroll?
Yeah, they're delayed.
Another
so-
one?
Okay, calm down.
Saga watches our streams. So many points.
Yeah.
I will reroll that perception.
By my guesstimates,
It's
she
bad.
probably has like 5 more.
It's so bad. I see that.
How much are the steps?
Oh wait, I should have had.
They're 1,000
I
each.
sh-
Or
I
1,000 each?
should have. I should have had advantage on the first roll because I still had
Oh.
silvery barbs.
There you
Silver,
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
you
Silvery
have
Barbs
another check.
unlimited,
One
or is
more.
it just for a
You get
turn?
One more.
One more roll.
The advantage is
Until
until
you
you make your
eat.
next over the course of 10 minutes, I believe it is.
Yeah, along those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it timed out on the system. That's why I was asking.
It does at the top of every single round, which is kind of stinky. But yes, so you can re-roll with advantage because it was a re-roll. I have 36
True.
more. Holy crap.
So do I roll with advantage now?
Yes.
Yeah, roll
If
for
someone,
advantage
would,
now.
if someone would tell me how to roll with advantage, I will. 100%.
There's a little
You just,
ADV
write
button
down-
down at the bottom left.
Yep. Press that.
Yep, just press that and then do your
Yep.
roll.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, Zay. You see Arbor.
In that case, I sort of point to him in the same way because I assume that he can't. That he can only communicate through sign language. So I'm just like, I point to him, I point over my shoulder, and then I mime running. And then I do stairs.
Now, I leave this up to Arbor. Zay can perceive you. Are you perceiving Zay? Because is it that your snout is sticking out and you're just a little bit perceptible? Or are you actively trying to keep eyes on kind of what's happening?
No, he wouldn't just like put his head into the corner and not be paying attention. Yeah,
So,
like he's
then you're
still
good.
keeping an eye on the hallway.
And then for my bonus action, as I walk past the prone guy on the floor, I'd like to lean in next to his ears and just say, "You'll probably never walk again," and use unsettling words to give him minus d6 on his next saving throw.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get the guy when he's down.
Do I hear Zay say this? Around the
It's
corner.
I am whispering it. I am whispering it. It is unsettling whispers. I think, like like the guy hears the whisper, and I don't think anyone else does.
So I could arrange that.
As you walk past, you just break both of his legs.
Gosh.
All he said is he wanted to see his family. Oh, wild. But yeah, no, you easily do this. You feel like you've very much unsettled this individual. And with that, it's the rabbit. It's going to go ahead and hop over towards you. That was its directive.
No, the directive was
it's
to go
going
to
over
Arbor.
To Arbor. Yeah, it can actually make it over to Arbor. It was moving.
Well, the door's probably closed.
Did we close the door?
Didn't lock it.
Unlock it.
I mean, that's true.
This rabbit. Unarmed strikes this door.
Just
and
gonna
is
push it
able to
open.
Nudges into it.
Want the rabbit to make an
Secretly-
athletics check
And secretly, the rabbit has the tattoo.
for its object interaction.
Object interaction, bonus action, action, and reaction. It's gonna take all of those. No, I'm just kidding. Easily. The rabbit butts in its head towards the door. And Arbor, where are you sat?
He probably well, I can draw it. He's probably kind of backed back up. He's not right next to the door. So put it like right here.
Okay. Cool.
Is he testing out the chiropractic equipment? Just
So
He positioned himself so that maybe when the door swung, that his form would be hidden for a little while.
He's in there attempting to do the bow flex on the chiropractic equipment.
this rabbit.
he's like, my range of movement is so much better now.
This rabbit comes in, pushing into the door, and sat right next to you. Are you sat like on the floor? Or are you kind of chill leaned up against? Lean a
Yeah, I think he's still standing. He's still standing, kind of just leaning against the wall, has his hand against it, steady himself.
Okay. There's just like brush against your ankle. But that is that. This individual is going to go ahead and follow your directions. Feeling their way. And dashing. Sharing a space. And ending right there. Slightly kicking in to the paralyzed guard. But making their way around. And it is Escher's turn. See one of your quarries walking down the hallway casually.
Okay. As first thing, Escher's going to do is speak through his familiar using his voice, since I took that feature.
Ooh.
So the little rabbit is just going to look up at Arbor, and you will hear Escher's voice come through. So you're going to need to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible. Head to the main gate.
So the thing is, I'm deafened and blinded at the moment because I'm perceiving through my avatar, so I don't hear that.
You tried.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so Asher with the rest of his turn is just going to kind of just stay on watch here at the corner. Yeah, just watch the progression of getting these people down the hallway.
All right. Then with that,
Don't really have anything else to do, so.
we're top of the order. Tension's high as you try to casually escape as the warden is right there. Arbor, you have been informed by Zay about some sort of exit strategy.
Nope,
From
I
stealth.
felt something furry brush my leg.
Well, your echo saw Zay make kind of the hand signals of.
Oh yes, you're right. I did. In what order would he do this? I think he's going to. I double checked. It doesn't take any action to bring my consciousness back.
Okay.
The rabbit's just like little furry arms.
Bunny kicking into your side.
No violence. Doesn't understand that he can't hear. It's just a matter of here's the signal.
Yeah. I was like, he's gonna pop back. What the fuck? Kind of just kind of shrugs like okay. Arbor will slip out. Let's see. Does he still have his echo in his cohorts tab? He does.
Oh, nice.
Can I? Doesn't have a. Doesn't have a token though.
It does. Are you swapping spots with your echo?
I wasn't planning on it, but I do start. I'm going to start to need to move myself and the echo independently.
Yeah. Let me do this then. I'm gonna go ahead and drag your echo into this, and then I will go ahead and drag your echo out over here. So.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
pull me all the way back.
And there's that. You should have control over both. You'll just have to click and toggle between the two.
Okay. Yeah. So he'll just take his movement then. In both directions. Trying to be as stealthy as he can.
All right. Roll me that stealth check then.
He kind of.
There it is.
Nice.
You quickly find yourself surrounded by these closed off cells to either side, just the hallway before you, but you do recognize that by very much controlling your footfalls, you should be able to not pull attention towards this side of the hallway, and you expertly move through. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Have my echo move. Oh no, it did move. Okay. Is it an action to stealth?
Typically an action to
I
hide.
do believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then that should be everything then.
Okay. Krelin, it's over to you. Just issue directions by Zay to turn about face and head on out.
Alright. Well, O'Near is there with the goblin dude. And Zay is still here with other guys, so I will use my full 50 feet, do some acrobatic shit, run up against the wall, and then
Oh my
just
gosh.
55 all the way, works.
You acrobaticked into the wall, into
Yeah,
the cell,
and
but that's okay.
then the remaining 40 feet all the way down next to Escher.
Perfect. Give me a
Yeah,
little
you just
acrobatics. check.
casually jump over the knight.
Yeah.
And no Krelin was
Jump over the prone figure of the guard.
A King Takes Knight. You easily kip up onto the wall. You jump over. You fall in the space between Zay and this bagged individual, and you quickly run through over towards your exit for a speedy escape. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
See, how far does this go? I will use key points.
What is it? Step in the wind.
No, it's the shadow arts. Yeah, I'm gonna use 2 key points to cast silence, and I should be able to actually drag that out.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, oh, not right there. I meant to do it a little bit further down in the hallway to kind of block sound from going down the hallway towards the warden.
Okay. What the? Okay, cool.
Is it seriously that
So,
big?
like,
Yeah,
that?
20-foot radius. Yeah.
Okay.
That way it kind of, because it says sound can't pass through it either. So, you know, if they run down the hallway and make noise, he shouldn't hear anything.
Okay.
Nice.
And that'll be Krelin's turn.
Perfect. Then with that, it is going to be over to this guard's turn. They're going to right there near the torture chamber, but not quite make it there on this turn. Next is at the end of their turn, they are going to attempt, as they are crying, and you can go ahead and roll a d6 to go ahead and deduct with your unsettling words.
Oh, jeez.
Doesn't even matter.
Ooh.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Just tears moving down their face. They're stuck in this position. And
Forever.
your echo technically acts on your turn, right, Arbor?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Then we'll sans that. You, Onair, though, have a little friend who taps onto kind of the back of your thigh. There's just, excuse me, and just kind of very quickly moves through. These folks are managing just fine. And
Give him painting supplies.
10, almost trip over. As that's what you get. And we're over to Onair.
Yeah, he'll just sort of like scoff at the individual walking past him, but is sort of impressed at how they can definitely walk by even while having a burlap sack over their head. But he'll continue to follow suit. He'll about face from where he was going and 15, 20. Just sitting right behind Zay, I guess.
Hey, Onair, what's your passive perception?
Should say right on your front.
10?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, over to Zay.
I will use my full movement and dash to get over to the corner over here.
Mm-hmm. Clip into the.
Oh, I should have dashed.
All right.
Well, now you gotta stay with the prisoners we're rescuing.
That is true.
They make a break for it. They feel like there's nobody around.
Oh no.
But
And my turn.
all right. So at this point, there is very little between what you all are attempting to do and the insurmountable odd of a domineered Kingsguard who is trying to go ahead and enter into the torture chamber. What is your rabbit doing specifically? Asher.
At the moment?
It's just doing its own thing, right?
I guess it'd still be in its hula dance actions that I was giving Arbor before, until it gets to its turn. Direction was... It's a decoy to keep the guy entertained in the following a rabbit inside the torture chamber.
Alright. Just starts slightly hopping around. So, at the top of... well, they will go ahead and follow behind as well. And hit the wall here. Now, Asher, on your turn, what would you like to do?
Aside from just generally be directing people to go out the door, I guess he would be in a viewpoint to be able to see that everybody is heading this direction, one way or another, other than, I guess, Arbor's stealthing. I could see him, though, because he's in a fully lit hallway, right? He's just stealthing his footfalls.
Yes.
Is that what
so
we resolve?
This is a unique position in which you're not necessarily inclined to look in Arbor's direction, as the stealth was so high, but as you pan over, it is an unavoidable vision that you see Arbor.
Okay. Okay, seeing that everybody is heading in my direction, which presumably means they all know what they're supposed to be doing at this point, Asher would start moving towards the stairwell, leaving the corner.
All right. The longsword is still sat there, but you walk by and feel quite confident as you make your strides towards the staircase.
Oh, he left his sword next to me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, okay. For object interaction, I'm taking
There
the
we
sword.
go. There it is. There it is.
You weren't gonna
Hey,
do
you
it.
don't leave free stuff behind. Come on. I guess as I move over to the door, I believe that's a door. They're in the spot between me and Zay.
This door right here.
Is that the door into?
The door is actually going to be over here. That's where you're going.
No, the door into the warden's office.
Oh, the door into the warden's office? Yeah, it's right on your right.
Okay. So I have not done anything except for look around at this point and move 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
How much stuff can I pick up out of that room in the course of a turn?
Depends.
I don't know what
Are
stuff there
you
is in the room. I'm just looking for loose
Blindly
objects.
Picking up just loose objects?
Yeah,
Oh,
not searching through drawers, not anything. Anything I can get off the shelves, anything I can get off the top of the desk.
There are so many papers stacked up. 2 piles, to be exact, that kind of rise up at least like 8 inches into the air.
Yeah. Just kind of grab a few off the top. I'm not going to try and take them all or try and review them. That takes too much time.
All right.
But any other objects that look like they might be easily grabbed and stashed in a coat.
Sure. You pick up a very nice quill that seems to be kind of sat in this ornate kind of like gilded paperweight.
I can sell that.
Yeah. There's a lot of books on the shelf, though none of them have any sort of writing on the spine. It's just leather bindings, some of them with a simple kind of ornamentation.
Grab like 1 or 2 that look the nicest from the outside.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
not really reviewing what's in it, and it may be junk by the time he gets out of here, but
You can sell it.
it's a fast grab.
Yeah, you pick up those few things. You feel pretty confident that the rest of this probably isn't going to be anything that any fence would want.
Yeah. Basically intending as use my movement to go in there, grab things, and come back to just there at the entrance, not getting any further.
Yeah, you're easily able to do that
Okay.
over the course of your move. Alrighty. And that takes us to the beginning of the order. And at this point, everybody is on their way out. The only thing that I'm going to have everybody do is two things. One, I need a group stealth check from everybody. And then two, I am going to go ahead and need a performance check from your rabbit, Escher.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
For the group stealth check, could I use 2 key points to do pass without trace?
Yes. Does that consume... Gear would technically be next in the order. So, yeah. We'll go ahead and go loose turn order. I would go ahead and allow you to do that.
Yeah, so everyone gets a +10 on their stuff.
That's great.
Who's gonna be with us, at least.
Nice. Onair, solid.
Oh no!
I didn't roll too hot either.
You're still doing
Well,
great.
with the
Better than a
+10.
4.
So
there was a reroll redeemed.
is it on Onair, Arbor? Which one?
No,
think
obviously
he's the
I get to
lowest.
reroll.
I think it's the nat one.
Probably the that one.
Said +10?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a full +10. It's such a good spell.
The roll is for Onair. So
Oh,
you can
thank
go
you,
ahead and
thank
take
you.
it.
What a betrayal.
More than double.
There you go.
So you still at 19,
Still less
that's
than
not
me.
bad.
Jesus Christ, Esther!
Well, that was the +10 from the ability, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that was a shit roll that lucked out to get to a 21.
Last thing that you
I know.
need is the
Me and you
performance
both
of your
rolled
rabbit.
4s.
I was trying to think of is there anything else other than a performance check for a rabbit, but I'm not coming up with anything, so I'm assuming you wouldn't come up with anything either.
Unless you want it to do little hops and do acrobatics. I'd allow that. But
All right, let's
If the
do
purpose
acrobatics.
was-
It's basically just supposed to be trying to get his attention.
decoy. Yeah.
Okay. That's it's +3 instead of a -3. So
I guess rabbits aren't very charismatic.
oh, still not good. 4 after
Perfectly
4.
fine, though. Perfectly fine. Not exactly the most thrilling display, as the warden does inevitably walk into the torture chamber and just kind of see this little rabbit bouncing around. Just shakes his head. And you all are able to make your escape proper through the basement, the Six Bells dungeons, and into the upstairs, of which you are still in the interior of a building. And as many of you would know, as you have been personally guided through this space yourself, you are now inside of the Town Watches building. And that is where we will end our session.
Alright.
Just imagine the warden being told, yo, there's some really crazy stuff happening in the torture room, and you don't look at it. He walks in, and it's just this rabbit dancing. It's like,
Up to his basest desires. He was interested.
Everybody
It's
wants to
this
see the
rabbit
rabbit
doing
dance.
It's this rabbit doing one flip, and it took like 10 seconds to build up to it, and it's just like oh.
Oh.
All right. So we are rolling for, I believe, how we normally do these things is in our wrap up, we roll 3 different categories. The first is going to be MVRP.
Is all I can roll 4s? My god.
That's really bad, y'all.
That's terrible.
The second is going to be questions, and then the third is going to be favorite moments. Okay.
I rolled a 3 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we gotta roll these.
rolled out of the dice thing.
Yeah, you gotta make sure the dice stays in the
Yep,
box.
Yep.
All right.
Can I get rid of rolls if I do the reset, or is that going to get rid of the entire roll value?
It'll get rid of all of them. So once you
Okay,
have the
that's
order
fine.
written down, then that's usually when I clear it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It didn't show before. Like, it didn't show for me the. I thought I'd managed to roll.
Well, not your second roll
There you
being
go.
the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Krelin, we've got Zay, we've got Peter, Escher, and Arbor with that sweet high roll. So, as we normally run things here, Krelin, you have the opportunity to either go first or last. But
I'll interject quick, AJ. Do we want to
Yes.
wrap up the VOD and then shift
Exactly.
over to doing the rolls?
Yeah, this was the teaser. If you want to go ahead and purchase premium content, you can by subscribing to our channel. No, I'm just kidding. This is all the stuff that you can see, though, if you stick around with us on our stream. For those of you who are watching the VOD, though, make sure to go ahead and tune in next week as we continue into the belly of the beast that is the city's government. And so
What a
with that,
book.
Next week, we run for local politics.
next week you sees the music.
I'm gonna be ombudsman.
Krelin for mayor.
Get rid of this magistrate too. But
Ooh.
to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in. We will go ahead and see you next week. And as always, make sure to stick after on stream so that you can go ahead and catch our wrap up that we normally do. So to VOD watchers,
Goodbye.
goodbye.